And I was 8 years sober on July 31st. Like I've saved over $170,000 since I quit drinking.
Let's go. Welcome to The Power and the Pain, where your past isn't your prison.
It's the fuel for your purpose.
I'm Greg Pihs, combat veteran, NLP trainer, and your guide to turn trauma into triumph. This is The Power and the Pain. Let's go.
Hey, my name is Bryan Nale, and I'm a mortgage loan officer with Primis Bank. I just want to say how much I truly enjoy being a part of the Spread the Positive Network. It's an incredible mission that brings so much positivity to our community. It's been a real pleasure to be involved. Now, when it comes to financing a home, there are a lot of options. And in a market like today's, having the guidance of a trusted local professional can make all the difference. Whether you're looking to purchase a new home, second home, an investment property, or explore refinancing options, I'd love the opportunity to earn your trust and help guide you through the process. If I can help you nail your mortgage, give me a call at 615-243-3976 or visit nailyourmortgage.com.
Welcome back to The Power and the Pain. This week, outside of the Spread the Podcast studio, I get to be at my home studio, and I'm bringing on all of my guests are special. This one happens to be a long-term friend. Myself and so this is Andrew Farr. We met each other. I mean, it's got to be close to like 7 years ago, I think. And
At least,
yeah, and I've had the privilege of, I mean, that's just a short span of time on the grand scheme of things, but I've had the privilege of watching Andrew grow and evolve as a human in many ways. Andrew is a Marine Corps veteran, combat veteran, and also a huge supporter in the veteran community, but also someone that has really went deep into personal development. And when I say deep, like life's in session all the time, and we all have things that we need to work through. And some of us carve out the time and the space and the energy to really dive in and discover what is our programming, why are we operating this way, and how do we change the way we're operating. And Andrew's been through many different training, studies, programs, but something that really stands out to me is, and I really enjoy, Andrew shares with me his interest and passion inside of Stoicism. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that today. Andrew, thank you for being a guest. What got you started? Absolutely, brother. What got you started in studying or learning or reading Stoicism? What was the initiation of that for you?
Really simple. At boarding school. So when I attended boarding school in North Andover, Massachusetts, like 30 years ago, I took Latin. My dad wanted me to take it because he took it when he went to boarding school. But we had to read, Julius Caesar. We had to read all these excerpts from all the greats. My primary Latin book was Jenny's, Jenny''S. It's a great tutorial for Latin. We had to translate. We learned obviously the alphabet. We had to learn a tremendous amount of vocabulary, but hand in hand with the Stoicism, a lot of the great Roman thinkers like Cato or Cicero or Marcus Aurelius. I mean, that's one of the famous emperors of the Roman Empire. You dive into Stoicism, and you find out, like Marcus Aurelius wrote this great book called Meditations. And it's basically his journal, and of how to deal with horrible people, how to deal with daily life, how to deal with your mother, how to deal with your children and how they're acting up. It's a way of life that has basically lasted the test of time. I mean, Stoicism came around probably about 2,700 years ago. Zeno the Stoic was the first guy to do the Stoic. to found Stoicism. And obviously, I'm not an expert. I was a classical studies major, but I could get things wrong because it's been a while since I actually studied the beginnings. But even Stoicism, where that name comes from, the Greek word for a colonnaded walkway is called a Stoa in Greek. And that's where the school of the Stoics, they met. They met under this colonnaded walkway with Zeno way back in the day. And it just flourished and then it just Aristotle and Socrates and all these guys and Epictetus and Seneca, they just followed the path of Zeno, the Stoic. And they just kept on teaching and teaching, just like what you're doing with your power and the pain. You are like what we did for the firewalking thing.
Yeah.
That's basically what they did back 2,000 years ago. They met and they talked about stuff. They talked about love. They talked about, what gods, what they were upsetting or not upsetting. What was, excuse me. What was going on? Excuse me. Oh my God. Apologies.
No, take your time. Yeah.
I jumped out of a plane on Friday at 14,000 feet.
Dude,
And I
that's so
screamed the entire way down. So my throat is a little hoarse today.
Dude, in the last for the listeners, sorry, Andrew, for the listeners, in the last I know inside of the last month for sure, this guy has walked across 1,200 degree coals and jumped out a perfectly good plane at 14,000 feet above the sky. What a powerful month for you.
I have to give you mad props, okay? Because that walking on the fire took away all fear, and I was up in that plane, which, by the way, I was wearing silkies and a t-shirt
That's
when I
awesome.
jumped. And at 14,000 feet, it's kind of cold.
And
I didn't expect it to be that cold. I really didn't.
I can only imagine for the listeners that are those that know what silkies are know, but for the rest of the listeners, like, what does he mean by silkies? Was he wearing something silky? Yeah, kind of like underwear almost.
Yeah, underwear and a bathing suit. They are versatile.
They are versatile. Yeah, they're what we do our morning PT in the military. Marine Corps.
Actually, the Marine Corps has gotten rid of that. They can't wear silkies anymore.
No, that's crazy. But I mean, evolution. It's the way things got to evolve.
When you are running, you're a man. A lot of stuff is fruition. And I'm going to say this very nicely. I'm not going to be a crass Marine right now, but a lot of stuff comes up, and I guess people had problems with that, and so they took it away. So it's no longer part of our PT uniform, which is so sad. I still have like 7 pairs, like from my time in service.
We'll forever be Silky Marines and Iron Sight Marines.
And I fired, dude. I haven't fired Iron Sight in forever on Saturday. That was interesting. I mean, I'd be considered a sharpshooter again, but I mean, I was all over the black. Like I did not have quarters. I definitely need to go back to shooting, like with Iron Sight, and start practicing, because my breathing control was way off. Like I would and I would just jump, and quick. Like I didn't have slow trigger pull. I was very erratic.
Sure.
Because in Iraq, I was more erratic than anything else.
Fire superiority.
Yeah. It was fun, but a lot of this, and my whole point for this, I went to Warrior Weekend to Remember in Ohio from August 6th to 9th, and we fired guns, we jumped out of planes, a lot of camaraderie. I met another Medal of Honor winner, Kenneth David from Vietnam. So he's my 4th MOH veteran that I've met.
That's cool.
Kyle Carpenter, James Livingston, and Barney Barna. So now Kenneth Ward from Vietnam, he got the MOH when he was a PFC in the Army. Wow. I'm like, dude, we were both PFCs. And I'm like, we weren't doing Medal of Honor shit. Okay, when we were Pihs, we were just learning about the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And these guys, I mean, they're that era, those Vietnam veterans, they were cut from a different cloth. That's where they were.
That's right.
Compared to us, and really compared to these new guys that are coming in, it's just, I don't know. It's a generational thing, I guess. I don't know. But
yeah, they were hardcore, man. They
were hardcore.
They
came back and they did their job. They went to a 9-to-5. They came back. They fought a war, went back to a 9-to-5, just like the World War II veterans. And just is different mindset, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. So, Andrew, let me dive.
I'm sorry.
No, please.
Getting on to a point, and I kind of spiraled into something, but I just wanted to thank you for letting me walk across your fire, because when I jumped out of the plane, I mean, I looked down, like I had my feet dangling over the airplane, and I'm looking down, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm actually still hanging on to the bar, and the guy on my back he's done like 4,000 jumps, Green Beret, like he was an instructor, at the school down in Benning, lot of missions, and he takes my arm and he puts it down, and I'm like here, and we just roll right off. Like, and he tells newbies, FNGs, which I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that on the air right now, but it's a new guy. It's a friendly new guy.
I love it.
Really not friendly, but we'll put it friendly.
I love it.
So I said, I'm a new guy. And then I'm just like, the new guys are supposed to like close your eyes and put your head up like that, just so you don't freak out. I didn't. I was like this, and we just rolled this way. And as soon as we got, like, we're going, I'm 235 pounds. He's like 225 pounds. So like almost 500 pounds. In the first 12 seconds of our fall, we were going over 400 miles an hour.
Golly. I saw in the pictures, you could see your skin, it was being like the pressure, the air pressure was like pushing your skin back on your face.
And I had my mouth open. And so I haven't posted those pictures because they're like kind of embarrassing, but funny thing on. But like my mouth is open and I'm screaming, but the air is going in and it looks like I'm a huge chipmunk. Like my cheeks are going like this.
Dude, I'd have been too nervous of like 400 miles an hour, like insects and things like that.
And it's quiet. It's nothing. And he asked me, because I'm a scuba diver too. And he asked me, he's like, hey, how was your first, do you remember your first dive? I'm like, yeah. How was it compared to this? In no way, shape, or form are they even similar. Okay. I mean, diving's cool. Yeah, it's awesome. This was such a rush, and the adrenaline spiked so high in my body. Like, he pulled that ripcord, which, by the way, if you are going to jump, do not wear silkies. Okay? Out there. Do not wear silkies. I have bruising right here.
I can only imagine.
Not here, not so much here, but right here. And yeah, dude, it just like my whole body, like when he pulled that cord, we went up like that. Everything from down here went up here. And then we just we floated down. We did a couple of these. I did some turning. I felt extreme motion sickness. I took like 3 Dramamine before like the whole jump, and I still wanted to throw up. I did not throw up, but as soon as we landed, I just collapsed on him, like total exhaustion. Like it took so much out of me. And we're going in Tullahoma. We're going.
I love it, dude. I'm gonna go for sure. Yeah, we'll do it sometime. How from the time you jumped to the time you're on ground, roughly how long would you say that was in time? Or could you make a call like based on, I'm sure time might have been distorted too.
When we're floating down, I could probably make that call, but like I know we had at least 50 to 55 seconds of free fall. We were high. And it was a lot of, it was maybe a less than a minute of free fall. Like, it was like this the whole time. And then he's got this, like right when we left the plane, like we rolled. And so I could see the bottom of the plane. And then my instructor, he righted us the right way. And then he pulled this mini parachute. That's the first one that came out. So like there's this tiny, I don't know what it's called. But there's this mini parachute that comes out.
Like stabilizing you guys.
And it's a stabilizer. And you just free fall for like, 50 seconds. And then when you get to, he's looking at his watch, he's taking pictures with me. He took 205 pictures of me going down.
That's awesome.
I didn't get a video. I'm owed a video. So you guys out there at Skydive in Ohio, you guys owe me a video. But and then I don't know, it probably took, I don't know, I couldn't even tell. I was so jacked up. I didn't know what way it was up until like I was righted. I mean, it was so surreal. And I have to thank BP Mind Growth Academy for basically getting me ready for, because I mean, if I hadn't gone to you, I'd be a chicken shit. And I'd be like holding on the bar like this. They would have to kick me out of the plane. Like, no, if I'm a grunt, then we're both grunts, man. We do this on the ground.
Yeah.
We don't jump out of perfectly good airplanes.
Right.
We're not supposed to do that. We're not made for that.
I love it, dude. I am proud of and excited for you, and also just like excited to like hear what that whole experience, like firewalking, what that was for you and getting into skydiving.
Well, the firewalking and your program, and I'm gonna kiss your ass a little bit right now, and maybe get a little brown nose on man, that your academy, the one that I did, it was great. The people there were awesome. What you were putting down was amazing. And I have to apologize, man. I do. I actually, I'm in a lot of gratitude. I'm in a gratitude mood and an apologetic mood. I at first, like, I know you came up with this stuff, and I was like, yeah. And I'd done Sable Warrior, and I'd done all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do his thing. And I'm so glad you asked me to be a part of it, because I loved Sable Warrior. It was great. But what you did, there are some elements, but it's going another direction, which is totally great. I mean, it had me thinking about things that I didn't think about in these other modalities that I went to. I was like, damn. And seriously, like, because of you, I got to jump out of a plane, and I would never, I told my mom that I was going to be doing this. So you're like, no, you're not. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that, Mom. I totally flat out lied to my mother. But she is not going to see this, so I don't know. So it's fine.
No, I'm not doing that, Mom. I'm doing something safe today.
Well, she said she was going to like write me out of the will if I did this. And I did it. I did it anyway. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Went against my mother. I apologize for that, Mom. But yeah, I mean, what you did for me and what you did for all those people, it was just amazing. And your program, it works, is great. I would love to do like some NLP training too, but right now financially, I'm not, able to do that. But hopefully, if you keep on doing this, I definitely am going to get to a class sometime. I know that.
Yeah, for sure. Does that mean? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
Hopefully in the next 2.5 years, when I've got a lot more dispensable stuff going on, after I paid off these horrible loans. I mean, they're great loans, they're good, but it's just I'm not drinking anymore, and I actually get to pay like I was 8 years sober on July 31st.
Dude, congratulations too.
And I know you guys really, you guys gave me a little shout out, which was nice. Thank you so much. But like, I've saved over $170,000 since I quit drinking.
Let's go.
But guess what? That money It is not in my bank account. I've actually been an adult and paid my bills. That's where that money goes. It's actually paying my bills. Because if I was still drinking, and this is where Stoicism comes in too, the dichotomy of control, which Zeno talks about way long ago, is that what you can control is your response, your actions, your thoughts. I can't control you, Greg. I can't control the Nimrod that just cut me off. I can't control the veterans that, the ones, there are some that hate me and some that like me. I can't control their hate. I'm like, okay, you hate me? That's fine. I've accepted that. 8 years ago, that was not the case. If you hated me, I'd be like, what's wrong? What can I do to fix this? How did that, what happened? Like, why don't you like me anymore? Like that, you and Stoicism and all of my modalities have taught me that, wasting time thinking about what others think is the huge, huge detriment to one's life and one's psyche. If you worried about that, what was that thing you said about worrying during your program?
Probably, I'm thinking it may have been, I said, worry is interest paid before it's due. Is it that one or no?
Yeah, it's that one. But like, if you spend all of your time worrying, like you could, it's all that stuff in the brain, something about the world and how much time and how much miles you spend worrying about other things. It could probably circumnavigate the globe at least. I can't even remember the number you gave us, but it was a lot.
Yeah. I think when we spoke about the RAS and the 2 million bits and the 126 and such. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. That, so, our mind's taking in 2 million, or it's processing, say taken in, that's not fair. It's processing 2 million bits of information every single second. And then we're consciously aware of about 126 bits of that information. Yeah. And then if we focus on worry, our RAS will just keep showing us things to worry about, because our nervous system, like there's a saying, which, by the way, how does this relate to Stoicism? In NLP, we say self has no enemy to self. So self is always just trying to serve self. If you worry, self is like, oh, he wants to worry. Let me give him worry.
Oh, that is definitely a Stoic saying. Either Seneca or Epictetus. The self-doubt, the self-worrying, that is, I think I just posted something on my Facebook because I have this Stoic app and it gives me a Stoic saying. And I think it was from Marcus this morning but if we spent all this time worrying about, what other people are thinking, we're leaving something out. We're leaving ourselves out, where the self-worth, the self, keeping us healthy. Like, we're not taking care of ourselves when we're worrying about other people. And Marcus talks a lot about that. And that's great. What you just said, that comes from Stoicism.
So let me ask you this, Andrew. So roughly 2,700 years ago, you mentioned there was a name. It sounded like it had a Z. I didn't quite catch it, but
Zeno.
Zeno.
Zeno the Stoic.
And then so he begins this sharing it. It sounds like on a formal type level. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, he's got these guys meeting in a walkway, and this is all like hypothesis. But if it's anything like Socrates or Aristotle, or like meeting and poisoning the minds of the youth, as Socrates did, or he was charged with, because he had to drink hemlock for his crimes of poisoning the youth, which he was the teacher of Aristotle, which, oh man, that is like a mind job right there. Like, Aristotle is book 2 of Nicomachean Ethics. That is a great read. Okay, it is basically the mean is where you're supposed to be. The dichotomy versus excess versus deficiency. So like if you drink too much, you are too much excess in drinking, you are going to be a problem. But if you have too little, and I use drinking because I was so good at it for so long. I usually, that's what I use it as a metaphor. But like if you are too little in deficient in drinking, you're gonna be, people are gonna be like, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? And so staying in the middle, and this is for courage, for justice, for temperance, um, to try to be virtuous. Like that is the Stoic ideal, is to be a virtuous person, to be full of virtue. Ous is a Greek thing, full of, and virtus basically is the Latin for virtue. To be virtuous. That is the goal in Stoicism. And they use the 4 cardinal tenets of Stoicism: temperance, courage, justice, and what's the other one? Temperance, courage, justice. And there's a 4th one. I can never remember that one. I always forget the 4th one. But these 4 tenets are the tenets of Stoicism. And another tenet is the dichotomy of control, which is basically what you can control, what your body can control, your mind, your response, your actions, your thoughts. Nobody else can control that. Nobody, only you. And when you are obviously drunk off your ass, like I was for so long, you can't control what you're going to say. Like you and I are in a bar, we're drinking. I'm drinking about 2.6 BAC. So I'm very, very drunk, and you're nothing. You've had 1 beer. I've had like 16, and I like go off on you. That's my problem. Okay. That's not your problem. But like, and I'm going to have to go apologize to you. And I'm like, and that's not the right way to live.
Right.
And like doing that, or like any with your friends, or like, being better, or trying to think you're better than other people, or your like for veterans, your service, my service was better than your service. Oh, that's not a good. Oof. And I've heard a lot of that. I have. And it's just, and we can all control all of those actions if we just read Epictetus or Seneca, The Good Life. The Vita Bonum. Vita is life, bonum is good. Vita Bonum, The Good Life. Like he's got like 7 books out there that he wrote, or maybe 4 or 5 books that he wrote on the good life. Or and he's writing to his friend. It's all letters. It's just letters to a friend and giving him advice on what he should do. And his friend is like talking to him about, well, this just happened. Well, what should I do about this? Like you're Seneca. I'm his friend, and I'm writing letters to you back in Greece. And I'm like, hey man, this donkey just cut me off in a cart. What should I do? That's like a letter I would write to you, and then you would write me a letter back. This is what you should do. And basically, I mean, you're already doing it with your GP migrants. You're already doing it. You don't even know it. You're doing the same thing Seneca and his best friend were doing 2,000 years ago, just writing each other and teaching. And that's what Zeno did, teaching these guys and they had basically a symposium. And do you know what a symposium is?
No.
A symposium, Plato's symposium. Plato wrote a bunch of books, the Phaedo, the Credo, Symposium. A symposium is basically just a drinking party. And the symposium, Socrates was there, Alcibiades was there, and like 2 other great Greek guys were there. And they're just extrapolating, well, what is love? What is virtue? What is this? What is this? Like, and these guys give their 25 cents in. And obviously with Socrates using the Socratic method by asking questions, and the questions that these guys ask, they're like, oh, and they find the answers in the Socratic method, which I think is I think that's just crazy, and it's just it's just such a novel approach, like asking a question to find an answer. I mean, it was amazing. And I first came, that was freshman year of college was reading the pre-Socratics, the Socratics, and then all those guys that came after. I mean, it was just like food for the brain, and it was amazing.
I think, I love this whole style and vibe. And, when you talk about asking the question to find the answer, everything is, I suggest everything is context dependent. So like it depends on the context. And then we have to apply the law of duality or polarity. Yeah, good. Please, good.
No. I just don't keep on going. But I love the duality. Oh yeah.
Well, and
A long time ago, that duality of man. Who was that? Was that Nietzsche? Duality of man. Schopenhauer.
I don't think it was Nietzsche.
It's one of the great philosophers. We're talking about the duality of man. I can't. Joseph Campbell. That was the hero's journey. It's either Nietzsche or Schopenhauer. I can't remember which one it was.
Possibly, I may be saying his name wrong, but Dostoevsky. It might have been.
Dostoevsky.
It may be him too, because I know he was big on like the dark side stuff, like the balance of human. But the law of polarity or duality in that, I say everyone maintain their beliefs, but that in order for anything to be in existence, it must be comprised of equal opposite parts, and both of them must be part of the totality of the whole. So then when we look at, do we go left or do we go right? It all depends on the context, because yes. And like a good example that I like to use because like the law of polarity and duality, like understanding it is like, so things are equal opposites. And then also they're one and the same too. The best way that, like, the easiest way I digested this was day and night. In a societal agreement, these are two separate things. However, there's no absolute day and absolute night. There's just a 24-hour cycle in which the Earth rotates on its axis, and then it's just varying degrees of one and the same. So daytime is a varying degree of that 24-hour rotation on the axis, and nighttime is a different varying degree of that 24-hour rotation on the axis. But they're both of them together are what is a day.
Dude, I swear we're having a very, very nice philosophical discussion. I love it. You would be on par with Dr. Rubarts right now. My teacher from Rollins College. He taught me philosophy, taught me ancient Greek. He was my advisor. I had to write a 26-page paper for him, which, by the way, took me all night, because I was a procrastinator. I didn't do what he wanted me to do. I wrote that paper in 12 hours. All night lab, 12 hours, just writing 26 pages. And I should have been doing different pages too, and process. And I was drunk. I was drunk for 5 years in college. So I took the short, easy route, the easier, softer way. And that's from AA. I took that way. And guess what? The easier, softer way is not usually the easier, softer way. It's pretty hard. You skip some steps. And it's, from what I've learned in AA, do the hard stuff. Mm-hmm. Do the hard stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, getting sober is hard. Changing yourself is hard. I mean, you've changed tremendously, which, by the way, I need another copy of your book because my wife gave me, and she's reading it right now, which, by the way, she loves it. Oh, so I didn't even have time to pick it up to read, because she took it right off the desk, right out, almost out of my hands. And she's like, I'm reading this. I'm like, well, what the F? So now I'm rereading the Iliad until she finishes. She says she'll be done on Friday, and then it's mine. And
that's awesome.
She says it's awesome. She says it's great, and that's not a plug for your book. I did read the first page, and then she took it away. But yeah, she loves it. She'll be done by Friday, and then I'll start reading it.
That's awesome. I'll make sure you guys get another copy, and it like warms my heart to hear that.
There, and you haven't read his book or bought it yet, go ahead and get it right now.
I love it.
I'll wait. Just click on it's on Amazon, right?
Amazon, The Power and the Pain.
That's right. You know what? I'll wait. Just, you guys out there in La La Land, just click on that book. I hear it'll change your life because my wife loves it, and
That's awesome.
she's very smart. I wouldn't stray you the wrong way.
When you were talking about do the hard things, I've recently started studying, I studied Nietzsche for a little while, pretty heavy. And I just switched over to this Dostoevsky guy, if I'm saying his name right. I'm sure I'm probably not. And his studies are a little bit darker, if you will, because he talks about the duality of man in the sense of, I don't know if he uses the word duality, but in the sense of we are, well, I'm going to suggest everyone maintain your beliefs. We are good and evil both inside. We are both. And then he talks about like the idea of like when you mentioned doing the hard things, he said, in order for someone to like essentially, now it's all words, right? Because value is created from inside. But essentially he said, in order for us to have true freedom, we will have to choose to sacrifice and essentially, like, now I'm paraphrasing this guy's stuff, but that there would be no way around it. Yeah. And then so if one was to have freedom through the government, they would sacrifice by what the government said for them to do. And if one was to live ungoverned, they would have to sacrifice in not in being able to provide for themselves unplugged from the government. But anyway, you roll the dice in order to extract that freedom that one must sacrifice.
Basically a catch-22.
Yeah. And then
you do, David, you don't.
Well, yeah, but then like the other ideas, like my suggestion is like, so then if that's so, which one do you want? Like in life at all times, like which way in duality do I want? And then because I've chose that, I'm self-actualizing. So then I'm empowered. So everything's awesome.
Dude, no, you bring up a great point because that sounds very, very, it sounds extremely stoic. Jocko, who I've met, Jocko Willink, been to one of his echelon front things. Thank you, Andrew Paul, by the way, for the hookup. SEAL Team 3, commander of SEAL Team 3. And he gives these, and I'm not going to talk about it a lot, but it was great. But he talks a lot about discipline equals freedom. And what you were talking about, choosing one path that is hard, that's discipline, and discipline will equal freedom. And you know what? You know who said that before Jocko did?
Who?
Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, the philosopher king, said that when he was in charge of Rome. And discipline equals freedom. And he uses Jocko, and I love it. I love Jocko. I do. And he's a very small man, height-wise. He's like this big. He's
stacked, yeah.
he's jacked. I love Jocko. He's an amazing guy. But like, I went up, like he was on stage, and I went up to him. I'm wearing my kilt. I'm wearing like a Marine Corps shirt or something like that. And it's right after I was talking to Leaf and some of the other guys. But I went up to Jocko. I was like, "Hey, Jocko, all your stuff, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But it's sounding really stoic to me." He's like, "You're right. You got it, dude. A lot of this stuff, it comes from Stoicism." And not only our actions in Ramadi in 2006, which was the basis of Echelon Front, like the leadership principles based on our actions in Ramadi. But also another modality is Stoicism and what they teach. And, the duality, the dichotomy, eccentric totality.
I'm not 100% sure.
You were talking about the centric, the totality of
like
center.
Maybe like essentially that like in order for something to be whole, it must be comprised of equal opposite parts. Okay, yeah.
But it was really cool. And everybody, they take little bits and pieces of, from all the greats, from Jesus, from Schopenhauer, from Hegel, from Jung, from Joseph Campbell, from it's not stealing. You're just taking an idea, just like the Odyssey that just came out. Have you seen it yet?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Very entertaining, and I'll tell you, Ryan Holiday does a great synopsis. I'm talking about the Odyssey because a lot of people are. I mean, the classicists are pissed off about it because it's not true to the Greek world in 2600 BCE. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, we're not really going to know what we actually wore, what we actually had for breakfast, like the Minoans and the Mycenaeans, because that's the Mycenaean here in Mycenaean Greece, which I've been to, by the way. But Ryan Holiday is for all you guys out there, he is a great source. If you want to learn Stoicism, Ryan Holiday, he's the guy. He was actually supposed to talk to the U.S. Naval Academy last year, and they canceled him. I don't know why, but they canceled it. And he was very, he was a little bit upset about that, but then he got over it, as Stoics usually do. But yeah, I mean, he's a great guy to talk to. And if you could talk to him on your podcast, I would be glued. I mean, either I'll have you and I'll have him. Both of my favorite people on one podcast. I'd be like, holy shit.
I love it. What I remember one time, now I don't know if this gentleman is actually, this is many years ago. This had to be like in the playing field of like close to 15 years ago. But I heard a quote that at the time my understanding was the gentleman, I forget his name, but the gentleman that wrote Fight Club in theory was the gentleman that was the originator of the quote, or was he the originator? But the quote said, and I remember to this day because it is true for me, and it's in the essence of what you were sharing. Nothing about me is original. I'm a compilation of the books I read and the people I've met. Yeah.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah, nothing about me is original. Like, I've learned all the things. Now, to say nothing, okay. The truth is, I think we can call in original information. I think that's because then how would information have ever started?
That's spot on, man.
But as a vast majority, I am regurgitating learned information,
which we picked up from 0 to 40. How old are you? 47 now?
Up. I'm 41.
41. Oh, I remember 41.
I remember 41. That's awesome. Brother, I appreciate getting to have you on.
Was it okay? I mean, did it make any sense at all? Like what I'm talking about, or was I too much of a squirrel today?
I think that everything. I know. Because of a choice. When I say I know, how do I know? I choose. Everything that was said today was exactly what needed to be said.
What exactly was supposed to be talked about?
100%. And everyone that's listening, all the people that are listening to this episode for God knows how long to come, are receiving exactly what they're supposed to receive right now. So I really appreciate it. If you're open, I want to bring you back for, at least a part 2. We might even do some more. But I'd love to talk more about Stoicism, ask more questions, and dive even in more.
That sounds fantastic. I'll have my notes actually. Reading this great book now. The Iliad is obvious. I've read it many, many times before. The Fagel's translation, by the way. Which is awesome, from 1996. But there's a great book. It just came out. It's called Hubris. Now, hubris is a Greek term, and we get a lot of themes. Like I touched on the Odyssey. There are a lot of themes in the Odyssey that you can't see in this movie. Is it a perfect Odyssey movie? It's Matt Damon. I thought he did a pretty good job, but making a great epic poem like the Odyssey by Homer 2,800 years ago, it is extremely difficult to make it into a movie for this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just want to touch on this one little thing, but Ryan Holiday, he made it sound really good. But the Odyssey, it's a story. It's a story about myths and gods and a guy just trying to get home. Well, guess what, guys? The guy trying to get home, we're reading it. The guy trying to get home, yeah, it's Odysseus. But guess what? The guy trying to get home is you. Hey, you got it. Oh, you got it, Greg.
When you were good,
We are battling the Laestrygonians. We are battling Scylla and Charybdis, which, by the way, we get a rock and a hard place from a Scylla and Charybdis, a rock and a hard place. That's where that aphorism comes from the Greeks.
it's very cool.
I mean, we are tempted by Circe, or Circe, however you want to pronounce it. We are tempted by the sirens. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We are trying to get home, and every person reading that great piece of literature, that first epic poem of the entire world, we are hearing it, and it was all spoken way back in the day, and then they put it on paper, which is great. And I think there's a museum in England that has the oldest copy of the Greek the Greek and the translated part of the Odyssey. But it's an epic poem, and I think Christopher Nolan, for what he did, because he did Batman and he did Oppenheimer, and he's done so many great movies, and I think he did a really, really great job. And that Odyssey gives us themes. Like what I saw in there was Xenia. Now Xenia is a theme. Zeus's law is basically Xenia. Treating a stranger who comes to your door, oh, here, have a glass of water, have a meal. That's one of the big Greek traditions, which I've been to Greece, and they still do it. Like they will just admit strangers into their house, or like walking the road, and they're like, hey, do you want something to drink? Do you want some ouzo? Do you want some whatever? Do you want some moussaka, which is that's my favorite dish, by the way. Do you want any of this? And that teaches us that's how we're supposed to treat people. Perfect strangers. We are supposed to treat them as if the god Zeus is going to come and strike a lightning bolt down on us if we don't take care of it, if we don't help this person. I mean, there are so many themes, metis, and I mean, it goes on and on. It's a great learning tool, and that's what the Greeks were trying to do. They were trying to tell that story, but emphasize the themes that come out of that story to make people better, to make them more virtuous, which goes back to the philosophers teaching virtue. I mean, it all comes. Sorry, I put my phone down for a sec. But it all comes in a circle. It really does. Just like what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. I love it, brother. I appreciate you being on today. And for all the listeners, make sure you stay. If you're just listening to us via audio, you can check out the video on our YouTube channel as Success After Trauma. And make sure you subscribe, stay in touch. If you liked what you heard today, we're going to bring Andrew back in the future, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Stoicism.
And my journey too, because I didn't talk about me at all.
I mean, there's definitely some huge open loops for people. They're aware that you have 8 years of sobriety. They're aware of military experience, but yeah, there's a lot more of your journey to really share with everyone as well. Yeah. So for everyone that, if you were listening today and this resonated with you, and there was someone that came to mind while you were listening, and you thought like this would be powerful for them, go ahead and take action on that. Share this episode with them. Like I said, like and subscribe. And then if you like podcasts like this, make sure you check out the Spread the Positive platform. They have many other podcasts just like this.
Right.
That's right. And they are spreading light on what's going right in the world. So if you like positivity and you like the light in the world, make sure you go check out Spread the Positive, and we'll see you guys next week for another episode.
If this hit you deep, trust that.
Your pain has power, and your story isn't over.
Follow, share, and send this to someone who you think might benefit.
I'm Greg, and this was The Power in the Pain. Keep stepping into your power.